Stafford.
Present.
Ms. Caldwell is excused. Here.
Will everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance and move your hats?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As some of you may know, there's an individual missing off the board, so at this time, the Secretary of the Board, Ms. Beard, is going to read over the proceedings on how we will fill the vacant position of a board member.
No, actually, Mr. President, or Mr. Chair first.
Oh, sorry about that, Paul. Sorry about that, we got to vote on who's going to chair the rest of the meetings.
Due to the vacancy of not having a board president, the board has to make a motion to nominate somebody for the board president. I'd like to make a motion that Mr. Kudrick serve the remainder of this year as board president. So go ahead. So we have a motion by myself, Mrs. Beard, supported by Mrs. Isles. All in favor of having Mr. Kudrick serve as board president of the remainder of this year, which is December 31st, 2018. Signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
All right, thumbs up. All right, the next item of business is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items. If any member of the board or any citizens request discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent's portion of the agenda. A, approval to approve minutes of the Board of Education regular meeting of September 10th and a special meeting of September 17th, 2018. B, to approve personnel actions as submitted by Gary Vanis, Director of Human Resources. Employment, Madison Heilman, physical education teacher, Wick Elementary. Mitchell Van Octon, Jr., math, Trumbull, French teacher, rhyme teacher, St. Valentine's School. Melissa Early, lead teacher, Ord. Resignation, Brian Weems, teacher, Romulus High School. Justina Davis, teacher, Romulus Middle School. Samaya Elementary, Jennifer Hodge, teacher, Wick. Belen Gomez, secretary to Wick Elementary, and a leave of or letter of understanding, Sylvia, leave of absence, Sylvia Laboda, teacher, Bar. C, to approve bills for payment as submitted by Dr. Vincent Menza, Director of Business and Operations, in the amount of $266,031.37.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Need a second? Okay, I got a motion by Ms. Funderburg, supported by Ms. Stafford. Are there any questions? Oh, sorry about that. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. All right, the next item will be turned over to the board secretary. This is for the board vacancy procedures. Sorry about that earlier, folks.
Due to the vacancy of Robert LeBlanc.
Excuse me, Teresa, with all due respect, could you put your microphone? Thank you very much.
Due to the vacancy of Robert McLaughlin, past board president, the board has 30 calendar days to fill this vacancy. If the vacancy still exists after 30 days, the vacancy shall then be filled by the ISD Wayne Greason. The board has the authority to fill the vacancy by appointment if the majority of the board seats are occupied. To be eligible, a person must be a qualified school elector. This means that the candidate must be a registered voter in the school district. A candidate must be also at least 18 years of age, a citizen of the United States, a resident of the state of Michigan, and a resident of the That includes, the portions of Wayne, Westland and Inkster that are also Romulus Community School District. The person appointed will fill this position for the rest of, Mr. McLaughlin's term, which expired December 31st, 2020. This is because the vacancy occurred more than 7 days after the nominating petition filing deadline for the general November election, which a successor could have been elected. The next general election, is November 2020. If a candidate for school board that is in the November 2018 election is appointed, they would hold the position until December 31st, 2018, based on the election results of the November 2018 election. If they win their seat, they would take their seat and serve their 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2022. And the appointed seat would again become vacant, and the board would have until January 31st, 2019 to fill that vacancy again. If a candidate is appointed and does not win their seat in the election, then they would be able to keep the appointed seat till the term expires on December 31st, 2020. And the seat will be on the November 2020 election ballot, and that candidate then would have the choice to run for the vacancy by election. A notice of the vacancy and instructions to apply for the vacancy will be put on the Romulus Community Schools Facebook page and the Romulus Community Schools website and local newspapers. With that being said, any letters of interest with credentials and contact information will be due in writing to the board office no later than 4 p.m. on Friday, October 5th. Candidates for interview will be notified no later than Monday, October 8th with their interview time. A special meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 9th at 5 p.m. for interviews, and an appointment will be made at that meeting. The whole board will conduct the interview and ask agreed-upon questions of the board. We will do a 5-point system for the interviews as a rubric. The meeting will recess while the board members tabulate their interview rubric and submit their choice. The board president will tabulate these results. The meeting will reconvene, and the board president will then recommend for appointment the candidate with the most points. And the vote will be taken by the board to accept the appointment. Within 3 days after the appointment is made, the Secretary of the Board of Education will notify our school district election coordinator, who is, usually is the superintendent's secretary, with the appointee's name, address, and the office of vacancy that they are filling. The newly appointed board member must file an acceptance of office within 10 business days after the appointment and take the oath of office as prescribed by law. The superintendent secretary will then have the acceptance of office forms to be filed. The appointee will be notified where the oath of office will occur. I am asking board members if you guys could submit questions that you'd like to ask during the interview process. And we're going to allow 20 to 30 minutes for each interview, depending on how many people that we have that apply and how many questions we end up, we'll break it down.
Any questions from board members on that? Okay, for the public, this is gonna be posted on the district website, Facebook pages, so if you know of anybody out there, let them know about it, have them submit their letter of interest if they're interested in doing this, okay? This can even go out to the new candidates that are on the ballot, like she said, so if they're interested, you know, they can put
Has
their
to be a
name.
letter of writing.
Yep, letter of writing's gotta be in here by 4 p.m. on the 5th, gotta be turned in the central office. Okay, it'll be either Miss Webb or Miss Watson, you'll turn it in, depending on which one it is. Yes,
So for people who don't have access to the website or the Facebook page, are we doing any other?
Local newspapers.
local newspapers gotta be published in there too.
Okay.
It'll be what paper, the Heritage,
The News Herald.
News Herald, and the Eagle. So that'll be 2 different sources. All right, the next item of business is the report of the superintendent.
Thank you, board members. First of all, I wanted to apologize to the board members. After the broadcast from Channel 4, that it showed a negative light on us as a school district and to our community as a whole. And it didn't come across very positive for us, and I take complete blame for that interview, the way it came across. And I'm extremely sorry because that's not our district. Our district is very, kind, thoughtful, and it's not so negative that, it came across in my stage. Yes, we do have vacancies across the district. I'm truly sorry for the way it did portray our school district. And as a leader of the school, I should never be caught off guard, in a situation that I don't have all the answers. But, I'm truly sorry for that. And it's not where my heart is. So the first item on the report is, a discussion of the field trip discussion. I guess there's issues that they don't go just to the forefront. Ms. Funderburg.
So, just in talking with, some individuals at the high school, we're running into an issue of being able to have enough chaperones per ratio. And so, one of the things that I'd like to propose is for the 1:10 ratio, as the kids get older, so like in middle school and in high school, could we raise the ratio for, one per however many students? I was thinking, that the elementary could remain the 1 to 10, because you mostly you have a lot of parent involvement at that age, and the older they get, it kind of weans off with the involvement. And so 1 to 15 would be the middle school, and then back to 1 to 20 at the high school. So I just kind of wanted to see what your thoughts were. What we don't want to do is create something where we can't get our kids to field trips, and that's really starting to be an issue. And so I just wanted to bring it up and bring it before the board so that we can kind of discuss what your thoughts were. It's not in policy, it is more or less a procedure. So,
And I know in the past, that we do have larger numbers, and then the board felt that a 10-1 ratio was a good mix at that time, but.
and I think it
things
was
have
after an
changed.
incident that had taken place, so.
Yeah, things have changed too, in that, the volunteers are not there.
So have we had to cancel field trips because we didn't have enough chaperones? Is that the case?
That, I don't know about cancellation, I just know that, it was voiced at the high school. It's been extremely challenging, and so I would just hate for our students to miss out on an opportunity to go because they did not have, enough volunteers. Because the staff, well, here go, we already know with the teacher shortage, then you have to get subs to cover the class. Depending upon how many students you would have, then you're talking about 2 subs. Because you would have to have 2 teachers if we cannot get volunteers. And so we just need to keep that in mind as we're moving forward on getting our kids to opportunities.
Is this for like college tours and stuff?
College tours, any field trip. So,
Anything
and
on
I'll
campus.
use an example. So manufacturing day is coming up in October, on October 5th. And, having the amount of volunteers, we're talking about taking anywhere between 60 to 80 students. So, 6 to 8 individuals that we would, additional chaperones that we would need to have that
you're looking for feedback, I think, field trips are a critical part of the educational experience. I think that, you know, you remember I sent you a letter, that had gone out on my behalf to some individuals who were looking to give, monetary donations to help support a field trip. And I expressed in that letter, some of the research that I had done in regards to how, field trips positively influence and enhance the educational experience. Especially when you're in high school and you're looking to start to develop what's gonna happen afterwards, right? So some of these field trips will hopefully, introduce them to new opportunities, get them started thinking about college or, you know, whatever, jobs that they'll be pursuing after high school. So, you know, I just wanna add my 2 cents in support of making sure our students can continue to participate in field trips.
So, Margie, I guess the only thing, because I don't wanna be guessing at a ratio. And so I'm almost thinking that maybe we should also probably be talking administration and building level, but that was just kind of my first thought of just kind of throwing some numbers out there, just so that we can have a launch pad for a conversation.
I think the discussion also has to be around is the out of state,
Right.
you know, is it overnight,
Right.
you know, type thing, where we maybe.
Can we look at it on a trip-by-trip basis based on when we get those resources for them?
Well, the only ones you had is really see are.
Obviously,
Right.
Mm-mm.
But all of the others, we need to have, you know, a foundation. But again, it came up as a concern, and so I wanted to mention it this evening.
All right, great.
We'll
So
look
we'll
into
get
it.
some more information.
We'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
The next one is, want everybody to remember that we have the redesign committee coming up, and, updates on that. You want to tell them where we are with that?
Okay. All right, after the last, or I'd say the first public forum, the last meeting we had for this stuff, some of the members got together and there seems to be more of an interest in individuals that would like to be on the committee. We're reaching out to some of them. Right now, we've got Sarah Carter, she's gonna be joining us on the committee. And then also, these are some dates, so if you're interested in doing this, we'll reach out to you, let me know, and I'll give you the information too. But, we can't have, 50, 60 people on it, it'd be nice, we'll never get nothing done, but we'll try to get a representation. So 10-1, we're gonna have a committee meeting, it's gonna be at 9 o'clock in the morning here at the board office. That'll be reviewing a lot of the data that came from the first public forum, the teachers, the administrators, and the other 2 meetings that are gonna be on Wednesday. 10-3, at 6:30 PM, we're gonna be doing the same thing, going over whatever data we got there, because naturally, it's almost pretty confident that we're not gonna get it all done the first day. 10-8, we'll be meeting at 9 AM at the board office. Doing the same thing, going over this stuff, trying to finalize things. 10:15 at 6:30 PM at the board office here. Committee will meet to go over stuff, hopefully try to get things narrowed down. Tentatively, 10:18, we're hoping to have a plan that we can send to the board members we'll select. So we moved back the selection day of what we're gonna do, because we wanna get more people from input for different community members and some people in the district. So we moved it back, we talked to the Martin Malo about some of the things, and by moving it back a couple weeks, it's gonna hurt us, but maybe we can get some input, maybe somebody's got a better idea, we'll listen to it and get some other feedback and see what we find out in these other meetings. So that's where we're at right now with it.
What time is the 18th and the 22nd?
The 18th is going to be at 9 AM, and the 22nd is gonna be a board meeting. That's gonna be the regular board meeting, that's when the board will get it. The board members are gonna get sent this is the proposed timeline, okay? The 18th is when we're gonna send the information to the board members on the plan that's selected from the committee. The 22nd is when the board will vote on it. That's the tentative. Now, it could change, okay? It's already changed from when we first started, so it could change. On the 26th, we've got 2 meetings at the high school. One is at 9:30 and one is at 6:30 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? October?
No, well,
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about.
Sorry about, yeah. September 26th, 9:30 in the morning and at 6:30 p.m. There's 2 meetings at the high school about the redesign. So if you know anybody out there, let them know about it. If you want to attend, please show up. Yes.
We have on the fifteenth a meeting scheduled for the board for the superintendent at 5. Will we be finished by 6:30 to go into this?
We're hoping. This is what we came up with on it, so, yeah, 6:30 will be here for the committee. So, that's just what we gotta do. Some of us will be wearing a couple hats that day.
Thank you, Mr. Krieger. Other items, you just leave a reminder for the public forum is Wednesday. Both at the high school, one's at 9:30 a.m., the other one's at 6:30. And then, they have been very active in Wayne County Manufacturing Day that's scheduled for our high school to take place on October 5th. And they'll be visiting 2 companies.
So sure, Manufacturing Day is an opportunity to connect our students with manufacturers. And then after they have their tour at a manufacturing facility, they then go off to what we call a hub site, which is a community college or university, where they talk about the career pathways and how the jobs that they just saw, how do you get there? And so it'll be on October 5th. Our kids are actually, we have between 60 to 80 students who will be participating. And they will start off in the morning, 8:30, and they will return back to school at around 1 o'clock. They'll be fed lunch, and they'll get an opportunity to talk about a lot of the different careers. Last year, our students, I actually chaperoned, our students went to Plastic Amion. It was really cool because they got an opportunity to see how the gas tanks in a lot of the cars that we're driving were manufactured. And so they talked about the different professions and the salaries. They talked about the types of schooling that they would need in order to obtain these particular professions. And so it's going to be an interesting day. It's Wayne County's a statewide, well, actually it's a countywide initiative, but it's actually a national initiative. And so Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw County also participate. So we have approximately 3,200 kids throughout Wayne County that are going to be participating in this particular event. So looking really forward to it.
Now you need chaperones.
Yes, so, yes, and I was gonna save that for last, but we will need parent volunteers. So hopefully if you've had your background checks done and you'd like to go and chaperone, because like right now, we still have a 1-10 ratio. So our teachers are gonna definitely need some assistance. So if you'd like to volunteer, or maybe you're just curious yourself on the different professions that are out there. They'll be leaving at 8:30 in the morning, so, from the high school. And if you can contact either Dr. Hall or Ms. Crockett or Ms. Marino, and they can hook you up with the teachers that are actually conducting and organizing the trip.
Don't they need background checks in order to go on the trip?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
One flyer that I sent to the high school today, September 26th, the same night as the meeting.
Excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, could you use your mic, sweetie? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Back here that cannot hear. We would appreciate it if you'd speak loudly through your mics. You've got at least 30 people back here still.
There's a flyer here for Regional College and Career Fair, and it's held at the town in Taylor at the Wayne County Community College District, a school district for individuals, high school students to check out various colleges. It's gonna be over 50 colleges and universities in attendance. So if you're in high school, it has been sent to them.
And it's also open to middle school students as well.
Wednesday. And then, yeah, there was a thank you letter sent out to, the city members that helped in the tour for our first day back. Because it was an excellent tour of the city and got positive feedback from, teachers, staff, everyone about that. Thank you to the city, community members that led those tours. That is my report.
All right, the next item of business is communication expression from the public. I got a few of them up here. So the first one I'd like to call, a couple of them I can't really read the name on, but I'll do the best I can, so I apologize if I butcher your name. Jennifer Johnson. You want to come on up, please? No, right here, stand right up there and talk.
I guess my main concern is due to, my son is at Wood Elementary, and, he's had several teachers that are not his main teacher. And when I went to the open house, they gave us the impression that, the teacher that was there was supposed to be his teacher. She was from, Oakland County. And, at least like, maybe 2 days after that, I believe he's had Mr. Beatty in his classroom. He's also had, Ms. O'Loughlin, in his classroom as well, but there's been no teacher, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on, who's the main teacher gonna be, when will the consistency take place for his classroom, for the fourth grade, because that's not good for them as far as going into the new year.
Thank you.
Before we move on,
Hold on, Paul.
Ma'am.
Come on.
Ma'am,
one second, I just wanna make sure, do we have information, are we following up with her on that? She asked the question. So I wanna make- But I wanna make sure that we're gonna follow up on that. I know the information is on
I
there.
know right now we currently have a 4th and 5th grade vacancy open.
So, but the question will be answered directly to her after the meeting. That's my question.
She got a phone number on there, we can contact her.
We need to follow up.
All right. The next individual I have is Julie Flinkman.
Before we start, though, I would like to know if there's any more sheets for speaking, because we have a whole show of people back here and we're out of papers.
Okay.
Is there anyone
Carol,
that
can we
can
get some more?
I have an original.
Thank you. That's good for you. All right, good evening.
Hold on, folks. Let her speak.
She's got it.
Okay, I'll just move out of the way. Thanks. Good evening. I'm Julie Flinkman, and this is my 19th year teaching here in Romulus. I currently work at Hill Creek, and I'm proud to work here. Let me just put this up here. The one thing I wanted to come and talk to you about today is this. We desperately need honesty from our district leadership. This has been discussed over and over again, yet it continues to be an issue. This past weekend was the Romulus Pumpkin Festival. As you may be aware, Romulus Community Schools has been hosting a booth at the festival for many years. Teachers, building administrators, central office personnel, school board members, and community representatives joined forces to run the booth over the course of the weekend. This year, you may have noticed that our booth was missing. It wasn't until Friday at 4:30 p.m. that I heard it was canceled. Apparently, it was canceled due to lack of participation and volunteering from staff. Was that the real reason it was canceled? because this year I never received an email seeking volunteers. I personally look forward to volunteering each year and was very disappointed to hear that once again, the truth was not provided to our community and the blame was turned to our staff for the lack of participation. If we want what's best for our district, let's start with being honest.
Is it Cameron Jackson? Okay.
For over a few decades, my family's been a part of school. This is the worst that I've seen this district with the students and with this people in this community. But in fact, I have a nephew that goes to Wake without a teacher, no, not to Wake, to the middle school without a teacher, who has to deal with getting bullied and also not having a teacher to stand up for him when he speaks to the situation. I want to know, are we going to get teachers that are held accountable to also be with the teachers, with my own personal teachers I had growing up, to stand and do something for this community? But this is absurd. It's a lot of answers that's going unanswered, a lot of questions going unanswered to people of this whole community, to taxpayers of this community. We're not trying to be like another Inkster. If we go down to be another Inkster,
That's not how he meant
In that
it.
he doesn't want it closed.
Yeah, that's what he
saying.
means.
I don't want this community to close like Inkster.
Right.
That's what he means.
I have family that came from Inkster. I don't want to see it continue to my own home district of Romulus community. We have a lot of people who care about this community, whether it be for the sports, the students, or the staff that does amazing work that has been over here for over 20 years to make sure all the children go with all the necessities they need to be a greater person in life. I don't know, will there be answers to the lack of teachers, be more teachers put into the whole district so children feel safe, so they won't get bullied? If they speak to a substitute teacher that's not even supposed to be there, will they be defended?
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Yes.
I was trying to, if you wouldn't mind, if you write your
We've
nephew's
got-
name,
we've got his-
when I'm in here, I'll personally check on him and.
Debbie, we've got his number, we can get his information,
I-
so let's stay focused on this, please. Okay. Next one is Brent Sherwood.
Brett.
I just want to start with saying that I'm a 4.0 student at the high school. I'm in 10th grade. I don't like to be like that guy, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure you guys know that it's a credible source, okay? So, I had a sub last year for an entire trimester in geometry, and it's not exactly the easiest subject, so it was kind of hard to teach myself how to do it, even though I tried, but like it's not exactly something I can learn on my own. And I don't understand because she told us that she was certified in history, yet she wasn't placed in her history classroom when there was a vacancy last year in the history classroom because Mr. Shibnan had left. So it placed unnecessary stress on other students learning a subject on their own when they already have a heavy workload doing other classes and such. But also, I don't know if this has been discussed, but I was at the meeting about the reconfiguration plan. If we have smaller students going to the high school, the bus routes at different times wouldn't work because the bus company would most likely charge us more money to run the same routes twice because they don't want to go back. Because why would they make 2 trips and charge us more money if we already have to pick up the kids? So therefore we would be jeopardizing the younger students' safety riding the buses with potential 18-year-olds who don't have their license yet. So finally, As we truly value that parents will look out for the safety of our community. Thank you.
Okay, the next one I have is Chelsea Robinson.
Sorry.
Where do I sit?
Right there, fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Robinson. I'm a Romulus Elementary School alumni. When we went to Romulus in my era, we were huge on community, as well as testing and outstanding grades. As a 20-year-old, I never thought I would be standing here for these reasons. The current students deserve the same education and community that I got. This is no laughing matter, especially when we are being represented on the news. I pray our board members are knowledgeable and able, and the teachers will get paid well, and the students will have stability. We need to take in consideration also the Inkster students who lost their school district and came here for a fresh start. And now their education is being played with again. Is this what we're paying for? How about the teachers that are underpaid and can't even support their families? We have to take that into consideration too. 90 teachers dropping like flies in the last few years, and 70 students wanting and needing their transfer papers in one day should be an alarming situation for all those involved. And I just want to say, if there's any way I can help, I'm willing, because this is my old stomping grounds. I never thought this would happen, but I would be more than glad to help make it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful job.
Okay, I apologize if I messed up his name, but Jetwan Robinson? Okay, did I get it close?
It's Jatan.
Thank you.
And then there's actually another form I just collected from somebody else. I'm not sure where it is. Thank you and good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out, especially all of the Inkster folks. I know that there wasn't really a lot of outreach to Inkster or really at any point in this integration, so I want to take time out to say thank you guys all for being here. Honestly, that was probably one of my biggest concerns, was that there's literally a sixth of our population that is not here, not enrolled, could be here, but they were not welcomed. Even in the transition stages with fighting and all that, there was little to no effort. And the reason I know there was little to no effort to actually bring forth some type of specific integration change is because I've reached out to several of the Inkster City Council members, and they have all reported that they barely met with any of you. That is very disappointing, because that is a very strong population. My other concern is what I've seen at this meeting. I want to thank you, Margie McAnally, for apologizing for the interview. However, I feel like that interview was very reflective of some of the things that I've seen endured by the staff and the meetings that I've gone to in the past. It was dismissive. It was pretty much everything that I had seen the teachers put up with thus far. I did see the email about basically there's money missing, there's money being misreported, and not even in the slightest bit, but I'm seeing over the internet, community members are seeing over the internet, you know what I'm saying, a 700,000 difference in report here, you know what I'm saying, 200,000 in report here, and that makes no sense. So we're talking about district realignment, and we can't even get honest numbers at this point. Nobody has been relayed honest numbers. Apparently, your board isn't even aware of the honest numbers. I was actually at the very first meeting when the district realignment was proposed, and I believe Jessica Reyes actually addressed the concerns about the lunchrooms, the concern about the busing, the concern about combining the programs for music, for athletics, all of those things. And then a week ago, we were at a meeting and someone asked, why are there no specific details mentioned? Why do we not have any specific details? And your answer was, because it doesn't, why would I do that? Why would I spend the effort and time when we don't know what we're gonna go with?
which would be fine if it weren't for the fact that these concerns have already been addressed, and there's been more than enough time since the middle of the summer, actually I think that was maybe June or July, that there could have been some details put together so that these residents can have a clear idea of what they're even voting on, what they're even forming a committee to be here for, you didn't say for district realignment. It makes absolutely no sense that this is even a consideration when we haven't even put together enough details for these people to make an adequately educated decision. It doesn't make any sense. And so I would like to ask you guys to demand more information, demand the information out of them, especially from that email. I'm not sure if you guys had seen what's been going on. I'm not going to say who posted it, but a very beloved person that I know to be very straightforward posted an email that was very upsetting about the board even being misled about some of the funding that's going on here. And I would encourage you guys to push the board for that information before you even sit down and make a consideration about closing schools. Because as I pointed out last time, we have all been under the impression that there would just be one elementary school closing. We don't know what's happening yet, but more than likely it would be one elementary school. And I brought up the fact, hey, this report actually looks like there are 2 schools closing, not one.
All right, Ms. Robinson, your time is up.
Thank you.
The next one I have here is Paris McCarthy.
I'm Paris McCarthy. I coach basketball at the high school for girls varsity basketball. My children go to Barth Elementary. I am as vested as you can be in this community. As I've stated so many times before, I went away to Grambling State University to college. My dream was to move back to Romulus, coach basketball here, and give back to my community. That's only a testament as to what the teachers did for me. Teachers plant those great seeds in you. It is disheartening and disappointing to see my school district in this shape. I cannot reiterate enough what an amazing community Romulus has been for me, and to see our schools like this and our teachers disrespected on a daily basis is wearing me out. I'm tired, and then we talk about it, and it's like it falls on deaf ears. I don't know what I just don't get it. I don't get how we can have all these teachers who do things out of the goodness and kindness of their heart, buying kids groceries out of their own pocket or buying their own school supplies, and they can't get a decent contract or an offer. I was at the redistricting and redesign. I'm not trying to be negative. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a positive person. I speak life, but it's awful to keep it completely 100. Having 7 through 12 at the high school, even if we block off a hallway, it's a safety issue, maturity. We need to get back to our old ways. Simple as that. The issue is not. The issue is we need more programs. We need latchkey programs, after school programs. Our people are leaving because we don't have enough programs as they grow. Our elementaries and our preschool is at capacity. We struggle when we get to the middle school and the high school. Why? We have kids who don't have art. I have kids, my student athletes, who have a long-term substitute teacher. I take it personal when you're not ready for college. I take their development as a basketball player, as a person, and as their education person. When they're not ready, it bothers me. I'm not a coach who just sends my players off out of sight, out of mind. If they're not doing well as a person, if they're not doing well in the classroom, I'm taking it personal like it's my own kids. So I ask that we do something, come together as a community, and maybe I'm just too Romulus to the core, but something has got to shake. Seriously. It seriously does. Again, Paris McCarthy, that's my time. Thank you.
She needs to put in her letter of interest.
All right, the next one I have is Crystal Price.
One of the last ones to put my name in there.
Yeah, I know, I was one of the first.
They
Where's my?
That's okay.
Okay, I'm glad that he did put me next, because what I need to say is very imperative what's going on here in this community. I had no clue. I thought I was going through some stuff with the boards and that, the city council and that, but I did not know that the school board was doing all this here. But this is a community thing. This comes from, we need to shake from the top. That's where we need to go to the top of this. We got a mayor sitting over there. We got a city council sitting over there. We got to go to the top with this, because there's a serious problem here in Romulus. Okay, I've been here 10 years. I'm not even from the United States. I'm actually from Canada, but I am now a U.S. citizen, so that means I can vote now. All right. So this here should not even be going on. All these people, these schools, I had no clue that these schools were going through this. But what are we going to do as a community? We need to come together as a community and everything across the board. The taxes that we pay in this community are outrageous. We don't even have a supermarket. You got to go outside of Romulus to get a banana or to get a vegetable. That doesn't make any sense. But yet we're building a jail over here that cost them $17 million from what I hear, but I'm not sure about the amount. But for them to be building that jail over there, and we don't have a supermarket here, and then we got a messed up school system on top of that, and everything else that's going on here. We got a problem here. We got foreclosures going on, people's houses being taken from them illegally. We got the courts over here that are doing a whole lot of legal things. I can tell you myself personally what they've done to me, okay? And it's not good. But it's going to get fixed, because I'm determined to fix it, because I'm a fighter, okay? I don't back down and I don't fear no man, okay? Right. As far as chaperones and whatnot, my son was in Romulus. Thank God he got a basketball scholarship. He is now in Oklahoma on a full scholarship. But he didn't do it because of the school. He did it because he did it himself. Like the Lord did it for him, because the school sure didn't do it for him. Okay? But he's up there. But what I'm saying, I'm here. I wasn't able to participate with a lot of his basketball because of me fighting for my own house over these people that I didn't get a chance. But what I want us to do as a community, this has got to go further than where we are right now. We got to get together as a whole, because all these people here, and there's much, much more out there, but we need to form something that we can come together as a community, because all the people that we're electing in these seats, we put you in these seats for a reason and a purpose, okay? And this is not the outcome. Once you get up into that seat, it seems like your mindset changes and you go to this way when you should be swaying this way straight ahead, because the people that elect you in, they're electing you in because they trust you. And they believe you're going to fight for them. That's why they bring you in here. And if your shoe was on the other foot, something's definitely wrong. There is no way that there should not be enough teachers in this school, in these schools, for these kids to be taught. I don't understand it. But as far as I know, whatever we want to do as a community, hey, I'm on board. All right. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to tell you something right now. God gave me the wisdom, but I fought between 23 judges and attorneys, and I'm still in my house. I have 6 judgments against me, but I'm still standing in my house. So obviously, I got some wisdom. Let's go forward. Let's get this mess together, because this is not right. I did not know Romulus was this much was going on in Romulus.
The next person I have is Timothy Williams.
Good afternoon. My name is Timothy Williams. I am Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Easter, and District 1, where that you can vote and get the taxes for my district. I want to applaud every last one of you for coming out here tonight to fight for your school and your teachers. That was something that didn't happen in my district, but I'm glad to see you out here. These parents and these students and these people out here, they need full transparency from you guys. Okay? The rumors I've been hearing that you have teachers that want a contract, you have teachers that's uncertified. Y'all sued us last year for some taxes that you really shouldn't sue us for, because the state said you weren't entitled to that money because we owe the state already. So y'all double taxing us. Then you got the tax money this year for the sinking fund. Now I'm saying that that's for the buildings. What's going on with the building?
Repairs have to be done?
We don't send notices out every time we do a repair at the building, no, sir.
Do you hold public meetings on that?
We're holding public meetings on the redesign of potentially redesign, yes, but repairs in a building is just like a repair in a house, somebody, we don't send a notice out to everybody in the community because we're maybe redoing a room or putting new carpet down or anything like that, we've never done that in the past.
I think it'd be helpful for the school board and the citizens as a need transparency. They need to know what's going on. Back in 95, 94, I was in Romulus and my kids went to Romulus High School. School was great back then. It was great. I don't know what happened, what's going on with it now. And a lot of our students, some things are not abandoning your school district. It seems as though with their uncertified teachers, and I'm not sure about that, there's a room where they have uncertified teachers. Well, we have been in charter schools with uncertified teachers because they can come back home. We're expecting you to do better because the state felt that you would do a better job at educating our children. And now we see that that's not what's going on. And we want to know what's going to change so we can be comfortable to know that our kids are being educated properly. They are in buildings that are safe. Thank you.
The next person I have is Reverend George Williams.
Let it go.
How you doing, sweetheart? Good evening, Board of Education. My name is Reverend George Williams. I am the President and CEO of the National Christian Action Outreach Ministry for disadvantaged youth and disadvantaged families. I come tonight because I feel that, and being former president back in the 90s of Inkster Public Schools, I feel that some things I can't say. You know, I feel that, first of all, I recall the time when Romulus was in full gear for his education. Now, I don't know who's doing the master planning of trying to improve this school district. But one thing that I can sit here and tell you, as president and CEO of a district, you can't do it without the teachers. And you'll be surprised if you do a marathon with your union teachers and be fair and true. As president, I was true to the union. I saw over 4 or 5 contracts with the union, and we was a family. We went on. You cannot move this district forward unless you become a unified family. Okay? They don't know actually what you got, but your financial person knows how much you got to work with. And what you need to do is do a marathon. I mean, lay it on the table. Be truthful. I'm going to tell you something. The reason why a lot of these school districts are in trouble is because the simple fact is they're not truthful. You know, they have other agendas. If your agenda will coincide with your workers, you know, it's ridiculous. And I'll tell you something, it's against the law to have a school teacher in a classroom that's not certified. A teacher in the classroom does not have the ability to teach that class. Now, if you got that going on, as I understand people came to me with, I think we need to stop that right now. Okay? And I feel that if the teachers still on strike, they're out there, they're not working, or what it is, I don't really know. But what I'm saying is, you know, you need to be doing some marathons. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, we'll just let you keep protesting and coming out. Because I'm telling you the reason I came out here tonight. Because I came here a long time ago with the mayor of the city of Inkster, and we talked about that, getting that land back. You remember that? I was here that day, and I talked with you. And then to come back here tonight and see the same teachers still picketing about a contract. Right. Okay, that means we're not doing a marathon, a fair maritime trust system. Okay, and we need to do that. We need to do that. Because if you don't have it, you don't have it. But yet be truthful about it. Okay, and then see, can you come up with something? These people got to live. Okay, and you know, one of the things I would never be, And I'm sorry y'all get mad. But the way I see school teachers been doing over the years, I would never want to be one. You know, because, you know, but our kids need teachers. They need it. I mean, I just hustled over $4,000 take down to Detroit teachers down there because they didn't have no supplies in the classroom. Romulus, people right with Virginia Williams. Is she here tonight?
No.
She's not here tonight. They stuff money all the time to try to get supplies and material for classroom. And I'm just saying this. You'll find out, if Madam Superintendent, if you have some marathon negotiations, okay? Okay, see, I don't believe that we have to go to arbitration and all of that different things there. I believe a family can sit down. Your financial person know what type of shape you're in, okay? And with you leadership on this way and get with the union people, I think you can solve this contract. But the longer it goes, the worse it's going to get. And I think you need to go around and start doing some marathons. I'll tell you, it will work. It will work. Because I feel that, you know, they got to live just like everybody else got to live, and I can understand that. And when young people start getting discouraged about education, do you know how many children that we have right now don't even go to school? Do you know how many kids I'm dealing with on the street each and every day that don't even go to school?
All right, Reverend.
Thank you.
My time is up. Five marathons don't work, and I'll come back here and I'll apologize.
All right, the next one I have is Michael Hansel, please.
Tonight, I'm here to give you an update with where the high school stands at the start of the 4th week of classes. We currently have 8 substitutes in our classrooms, counting the FMLA of the ELA teacher, Ms. Whiteside. There are 2 positions in the building that should have substitutes, but they have been dissolved. Dissolved because they weren't needed? That answer is no. They are needed. I will explain what I mean a little bit later. Currently, there are 669 students that are receiving services from a substitute teacher in the high school. Let's break that down. 301 students, or 38% of the student body in the high school, have a substitute in their ELA classes. That is not including Ms. Whiteside's class. 124 of those are 9th graders. That's about half the 9th grade class. If we factor in Ms. Whiteside's class, which has 93 9th grade students, that is the entire 9th grade class as reported at the last board meeting. Currently, over half the student body still does not have an ELA teacher. There are 42 students in 9th grade honors English, and another 27 12th grade AP English students that are being taught by a substitute teacher.
Advanced class? Advanced, yes. I thought I heard advanced.
Math isn't much better. Math isn't much better. The statistics are a bit cloudier though. From my research, I see 182 students, or 23% of the student body has a substitute. Half of the 9th grade class, or 109 students, are enrolled with a substitute math teacher. You may think, oh, that's not as bad as reported at the last board meeting. That is not true. It's much worse. Earlier I talked about dissolving classes. It was mostly math classes that were dissolved. Okay? From my research, only 26 students of the 200 in 9th grade students are being taught by a certified teacher. The numbers don't add up though. 190 students with substitutes plus 26 being taught by a certified substitute. That's only 135 students. We're missing students. Where did they go? When they were dissolved, they weren't put into math classes. In 9th grade, they're supposed to have 3 trimesters of math. I would like to know what the plan is for those 9th graders. For 2 years, you have allowed this incompetence to continue. There are more questions you, the elected board, should be asking. Like, how many students have been pulled out or have withdrawn from RHS? Was it 70 like the rumor? Was it 80? Could it be 90? I've been told this information cannot be released. Can I figure it out? I certainly can. I think this is a question the elected board should get answered. Hopefully in November, the elected board will be on top of these problems and will deal with the causes. Teachers have left, and so have students. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one, Cindy Beckleberry, please.
Oh, I'm way back here.
Way up here.
I'm way back area. Thanks for having me today. I want to make a special thank you to all the community members and parents that have showed up tonight.
Yes.
You know that we've been talking about teacher shortages and such in the high school. For the past 3 years, under this leadership, we have lost, I don't know the exact figure, somewhere in the 90s. Leadership and losing 90 teachers. Wow. Next on the list is all the false information that continues to get spread back and forth. We had a board member who loved social media. He would put down his staff. As he exited, he put down his board members, his co-workers. So I ask you, go to Facebook now and read the post of the letter that was sent to our superintendent. It is out there. It is a 5-page letter disputing 90% of what our board president has been telling people. Now, in the past 2 calendar years, the first 2 years ago, we're on our 3rd year now. 2 years ago, it took us over 8 months to come up with a contract. 8 months. We had 5 months with a contract. We went all last year negotiating a non-existent contract. We are now starting the year continuing to negotiate a fair contract. We have spent, I am sure if our financial advisor could let us know, the volumes of dollars that have been spent on lawyers to fight this, all with non-truths. There is non-truths from every spot around, and I'm so glad you are all here to hear this. We have been telling them for 2.5 years, we don't have the staff. Our teachers are leaving. We have been spoken on deaf ears. We are not getting any response, any plan of attack. We have a staff member, a teacher, educated, that has been on staff for 6 or 7 years, and he's making $36,000 after 6 and 7 years. You're not going to be able to hire anybody into our district, especially one in so much turmoil, with so many people leaving, with students leaving. You're not going to find any staff that's wanting to come in. Because would you? No. I don't think so. So their solution is up the salary for the new hires. And leave all the other people, hey, this is our philosophy. I beg of you, we have been saying these things for 2.5 years now. I'm so glad we're listening. Are you going to bang me? Was that my time? Okay, a couple more seconds. So we have been having the teachers gone for several years. It just continues to build. We have staff at the high school that's never been replaced. We have special needs students who do not have math teachers. We have special needs teachers who, special needs students who are not getting proper resources. We have all sorts of turmoil in our district, and I thank you all so much for coming and hearing tonight. I appreciate you all. I appreciate your speaking up, And I appreciate all of you for listening to me.
All right, the next one I'd like to call up is Julie Hitchard.
Okay.
You got a handoff?
I guess I do. Yes. Well, I didn't really prepare anything, but I just want to say again, like Ms. Thackerberry did, thank you so much to the community for coming out. We want to hear from you. We want to work with you. And I guess that's kind of what I want to focus on is we know the negative. We've been here. We've been trying to let you know about it. And I know you hear us, but you know, you do not follow a leader unless you trust and respect them and you feel like you are trusted and respected. And the numbers is not my thing, but I want to work in a place where I feel trusted and respected. And my interactions with our leadership have not been positive. I'm not going to even get into the personal things that have happened. And I guess what I just don't know is why we're not holding people accountable and setting a culture of respect and trust. My biggest my biggest worry is that I expressed, you know, and not me, but the whole community has expressed our concern about rushing through this redesign. And I heard we postponed the deadline from October 1st to October 18th. And I just think this is such an opportunity for us to build something new, to really truly reimagine a district, either a district that was just as good as it used to be or even better. And I think we need to do it right. And I don't think we need to do that with people that may or may not be here to see it through. So I just want to include Go, Julie. and really try to build that so we can build something solid. Thank you.
Next request I got is India Heritage.
Hello everyone, my name is India Harris and I am the sophomore class president at Romulus High School. And I came out here today to like tell you guys.
Wait. Go ahead.
I came out here today because I felt my voice needs to be heard because like there's a lot of stuff going on and it's worrying me as a student. So my vice president couldn't be here with me today because he had suffering a head injury. But yeah, I'm here on behalf of the sophomore class, the teachers, and the whole community. First of all, we come to school to get an education, then go to college to get a good paying job, right? Yet the teachers at our school don't get paid fairly, and they went to school to be able to educate us as students. A lot of students come to school every day to a substitute teacher in one or more of their classes. Personally, I signed up to take drama and literature. I had a substitute teacher, and she left Friday, and I have another substitute teacher. Frankly, I have no idea if I'm going to have a teacher, because I really did sign up for this class to learn something, and there's no teacher there to teach it or anything. Not having real certified teachers affects us in many different ways. Many students want to go into certain sessions that require like classes like foreign language or art, but we don't have an art teacher, and we don't have Spanish past year 2 anymore. Not only are we not being educated, but it affects our school environment, such as the behavior of students. As you know, having a substitute teacher means do anything you want.
Right.
And we have many students leaving our schools for places like Belleville and Wayne. We need teachers, and we need you to do something to help us. Our education is far too important to be messing with. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, it is our legal right to get an education, and it doesn't seem too legal if we're not learning anything in the If you don't mind, I have...
You still got a little time.
Okay, well, I have 2 questions for you. Are you currently trying to find teachers? If so, what are you doing? And why aren't you willing to increase how much the teachers make so teachers will actually come to our school and want to stay because they have families they have to take care of? Certified. Yes, certified, please.
Some of us are certified. Just a different name.
Yes, we are looking for teachers. We are going to our job postings on there. The salary, that is a contract thing. That's a contract thing. Once the contract gets settled, hopefully lot of that considered negotiation, I think, between the teacher and yourself. But if we had a magic wand or a money tree, it would be great. What's the problem with it? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Crystal, Linton.
Okay. Good evening, students and parents and teachers especially, and the board here. My name is Crystal Linton. I am a Romulus resident, but I advocate and do all my work in Inkster. As you can see, we have on some t-shirts with everyone from Inkster. Just raise your hand tonight. Everyone from Inkster, raise your hand. Okay? And we got Inkster resident council here. I work with, first of all, let me just say, Romulus has been good to me. I have my daughter's pictures all over Romulus High School gym. And so I have a Romulus sports legend. My niece is Dr. Tara Tyus from Romulus High School. So it's been good to me. But what I'm seeing breaks my heart. And what I'm hearing is breaking my heart. And so as someone who advocates for Inkster, even though I live in the Romulus district, first let me say to these children, and if I cry, I'm sorry, I'm just one of those people. I've been busy working with the kids in Inkster on Monday nights. We have a program trying to keep them out of prison. And whoever said something about prison, don't get me started. We know if you can't read by the end of the 3rd grade, K through 3, you learn to read. After 3, you read to learn. They build prisons where children can't read by the end of 3rd grade, and I'll stop that. So there was some prison going up, do things right. But teachers and students, I'm sorry, because it's not just them who let you down, I've let you down. Okay? And so we're not going to let you down anymore. I set out a word, and the resident council set out a word, and we're setting out a word to Inkster residents, get involved. A lot of my kids' parents may not have rides. And so they have to prioritize if they can get a ride. Do I get a ride to the grocery store, or do I get somebody to take me out to this meeting? So a lot of the kids that I work with, their parents aren't here. However, they will get a ride to the polls. Will they get a ride to the polls? Are we willing to take them to the polls? Okay. And so I'm going to sit here and listen to things all night that's going to break my heart. And I've seen this before, Inkster. We've seen this before where we get up and piss and moan, and then we get 3 minutes. Yeah, y'all know what that is. And do we get any answers? No. So I'm going to keep this very, very simple. We're an action network. That says take action. So you keep telling us about what's going on and make Miss Crystal cry. My teachers know me, Miss Crystal. The teachers said, "Oh, you're Miss Crystal," because I do the work. I don't just talk the talk. That's right. That's right. But here's something very simple that I'm going to say to you. You are her boss? Yes. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And we are their boss. Your boss. That's right. Is that, you got that? Yeah. So I'm just going to make this simple and sit down. We're going to fire everybody. Exactly. She's going to resign. And I'm sorry. You're going to fire her, we're going to fire you. Is that simple enough? Don't date November 6th. Get our slate together. We're the boss. That's right. We said get some teachers in this school that's certified. We said get these teachers a contract. That's right. Exactly. That's right. And it's not nice for your boss to scream at you, is it? Okay. We're saying get some teachers in the school that's certified. Yeah, that's right. Because our babies are being sent to prison in droves. Come on now. Oh, but we gonna make them care. That's our fault if they don't care. Amen. That's right. And we said get these teachers some contracts. That's right. That's the law. We gave you millage money, and I was against it at first. Right. I told you no. We ain't giving it to you. You came back the second time, me, Virginia Williams, and a couple of other us, we shut up and said, okay, we go ahead, you can get it. Because we were campaigning against you. But we stepped back and stopped campaigning against you. Now show us where that money is.
That's right. Transparent, yeah.
And do what we need you to do.
That's right.
Or everybody gets fired. Is that right?
All right, I have a few questions. How many times are we as a district gonna redesign? We've done this before. You're at 9 schools, down to 7, now you wanna go to 5? Why?
Money.
Money, perfect. Money, money, money. Well, villages just passed.
Right.
It still expenses money. Okay, the state took some funding.
It took a lot of
We
funding.
have low enrollment, but you know what? The state took funding from every school.
Thank you.
district. Romulus isn't special. Low enrollment equals money. I get the fact you can't do anything about the state funding. What have you done about enrollment? Have you done anything? Because in the 2010-11 school year, there were approximately 62 fourth graders at Barth Elementary. Now, in 2012 and 13, less than half of them went to the middle school. And 15 of those, I know personally, went to Huron. Now, that should have been a big red flag. Considering that, 3, well, change it now. It was 4, now it's 3. Of those school board members were here at the time. So they knew what was going on. Does anybody call these parents and ask?
Unfortunately, we can't do that. The state won't allow us to do it. We cannot call the parents and ask them why they take their kid to another district. We have looked into that for several years.
We told you.
We can't do that.
You can send somebody else.
They know. They know why.
So then what about Facebook?
We would like to do something. We'd like to do something on that. We've inquired and we cannot do it. We cannot do it. If they volunteer the information, that's great. If they don't,
Enrollment is not going to increase by closing buildings, or by fixing buildings, or blaming past board members. That's not gonna happen. The parents of this community are not sending their students to other districts because of pretty little buildings. They send them there because of the education and the advantages that their children receive. And because the concerns as parents aren't just swept under the rug. They're taken seriously. So closing buildings is not the answer. It's been done and it didn't happen. Not only that, how much money are we truly gonna save by closing buildings? How much is it gonna cost to upkeep them? Because we do not want another Mount Pleasant, Burton Center fiasco with health issues. So, we go down to 5. Are we gonna redesign in another few years and go to 3? And then are we gonna redesign again and go to 1 school? K through 12 in 1 building? I personally have asked some of the parents why they left the school district. No teachers? No contract for the teachers they do have, which are going to be leaving. No certified teachers. Sports. Bullying. No extracurricular type things. If I can get this information from parents, pretty sure you all too can.
Next one I have is Maya Mims.
Mia.
Mia Mims?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Good evening. My name is Mia Mims. I have Monet Robinson and Mia Robinson. I believe in Romulus communities. My daughter's graduated with honors with over $30,000 in academic scholarships because of the amazing teachers in Romulus communities.
That's right.
My son is a freshman. This disheartens me. I have researched Uber to Uber my son every day out of Romulus High School. me why I'm taking my son out, but I'm going to tell you why. You cannot get a teacher in his honors English class. If you cannot get a contract for these teachers, I go to work at 4 in the morning, I will Uber my son. I do. I am a homeowner and I am a taxpayer.
That's right.
And my taxes have went up. I've been here 9 years. My taxes have not went down. So why can't these teachers be paid? Why can't these teachers get a contract? Why are these teachers leaving? I moved out of Ypsilanti to Romulus because I wanted my kids to have some of the best and the brightest out of Michigan. My daughters are at Central Michigan and they are doing amazing because of Romulus, because of my support as their mother, but because of Romulus Community School. Like something has to be done. Or I give you my word, my son is leaving. He is my baby. And I want him to do as well as my daughters have done. And if he cannot get the same education that they have received, he's gone.
The next one is Yvonne Thomas.
My husband can't come and stand before you guys today because he has a broke hip, but it was real important for him to be here, so we stand together. So I'm gonna use my time and his time. No, I'm just kidding.
So are you speaking, if that's your husband, is what I'm taking?
It's Divine and Katrina, my name's
Oh, I just wanted to make, okay. Let me make sure.
Mr. Clerk, actually, I'm the one awaiting your response from an email. I actually sent an email to the whole school board. If some of you didn't get it, I asked that it be.
Look, get with me later and make sure you guys read the email.
No, you responded to the email.
I
Actually, you
did?
responded to it on the 17th, saying give you a couple of days and you will call me back. So with that being said, but I do appreciate you even responding, letting me know you got the email. My concern is about I have quite a few concerns, but limited time. My issue is with the special ed services in this district. I don't know how many of you, I don't have a lot of statistics, I can only tell you about my child. Very passionate to me. His classroom right now, we should have 2 special ed teachers, have none. It's a sub. I would like to say this though. I'm gonna talk as a parent and then I'm gonna switch over because I'm also a substitute teacher. I sub for the district. I thought leaving my job as a juvenile probation officer to come and help the kids before they got to my desk.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
They got my help. In the district, I see it every day. We talk about the teachers or filling the spaces that need to be filled. Let's talk about the teachers that are already there.
That's right.
Let's talk about the teachers that are there every single day, underpaid, getting beat up. I'm a substitute teacher. When I leave, I'm exhausted. They do this on a daily basis, over and over. So I want to talk about what are we going to do for them so that they do stay. Because if all of them decide to leave tomorrow, what's the plan?
Exactly. That's right.
I have to go to work. So I can't sit home and educate my child. What's the plan? That's a question later.
Okay, no, wait. Before you, Margie, can you make sure that's followed up on, please?
Yes, because that's a question. That if they leave tomorrow or any given day before the end of this school year, what's the plan? How are you going to keep them here? From every teacher that I talk to, I ask, what are you asking for? That they are so up in rims that they won't give it to you. From what I can see is just a decent paying job just to support their families.
They deserve.
They deserve that. They're not asking for a given. So let's address it. A lot of questions have been asked here tonight. What we heard about the redesign was these questions were asked back in June. We're September with no answer about redesign. What is the approach? How are we going to do these things? What are some of the details of it? And still yet none. So we can ask questions all day. It's the answers that we need. So if you're not going to answer the questions, then just tell us no, so that we're not looking for answers, and then we can make the decisions that we need.
There you go.
Two, I want to talk about the special ed services because just as important as the teachers are, so are the service providers. Just a quick synopsis. My son's a special ed student. We are not renters, we are homeowners, taxpayers in this district. I moved to this district. We left the home, sold it, moved to this district for the special ed department. So that's how passionate and how much my husband, it was so important to us to do that. got here, started off great. He is now a special ed student who is supposed to have speech services, social work services. Your speech therapist is contracted. You won't even hire a speech pathologist. Your social worker is split between every building just about. My son's EEP says 15 to 30 minutes, 1 to 2 times a month. So that means that 15 minutes per month will be adequate.
Wow.
You want another Sandy Hook? Play with mental health. You want to be visiting an unfortunate situation? I want to go back to substitute teaching. I substituted Mr. Hanson's class. Now, mind you, I graduated with a 3.2 out of my university. I went to substitute Mr. Hanson's classroom. It was foreign language. I was like, what is this? The students depended on me as a sub. I couldn't answer their questions. That being said, it's not that I'm dumb. It's that you need certification to teach these classes that to know physics and haven't been taught. How can you expect? Now, mind you, my son isn't in any of these classes. My son, psychologist, put him on home-based services. Now, this is not a joke. His homebound, yes. And who is it costing? The district. Everybody's paying taxes. You're paying for a teacher to come to my house and teach my son because the services are not available in the school. Wow. Okay, so that's where your money. I had to go to the Department of Civil Rights against a child with a disability. They made the district pay for compensatory services. See? That's great, but my son's already significantly delayed, so why do I want him to catch up on his education? Give it to him when he's supposed to have it on time. The only way to get that is to hire what you need. You can't provide what you don't have. You're not going to get apples from a pear tree. You have to give what they need. You do. And as we continue to talk about it and we fight about it, time is going by. My son doesn't have time. These other special ed, all of the children of the district, they don't have time. You're not going to rehold 4th grade next year for the kids that didn't get it because they were at the sun. Exactly. You're not. You're going to push them through the 5th grade. And before you know it, they're going to be in the 12th grade. And guess what? They're not going to know anything. How are they going to compete, as the parents said on the news? How will they compete with other students in other districts? They don't have a chance. You've already failed them. So at this point, this is where you stop and you say, don't continue to hear the questions, just give us the answers. Thank
Nope, Tazinski. Everybody knows me, at least most of the board does, from years past and now. First of all, take a look around. This is the first time in 30-some-odd years this building has been filled. That's telling you they're finally passionate and they finally think. My problem is, I did take the time today, on Friday, to request a stroll around the high school to try to visualize the reconstruction that the school wants to do. I met Mrs. McNally, did take me through the school with another resident, and we asked questions. Now, can I visualize space-wise? Yes, there's enough space to put the kids in the building. The problem we got is, again, there is no answers exactly how you're going to separate them. What are the concerns for the safety? And the reason you guys, I mean, she had an honest answer to me. You don't have all those answers yet until you can talk to an architect to design the design. And if we want things like that done, they have to pay for an architect, they got to pay for everything to be done and come up with the plan. My problem is we should have never gotten this far. Right. I could picture it as a K through 8 over a 7 through 12. Do I like the idea? No, but I'm honest. We are hemorrhaging money. Don't know where the money is, but we're hemorrhaging. So with that being said, everybody's passionate. We need to get the people that are running for the school board on that committee. Not one of them, all of them. Exactly.
Because if not, what's going to happen is it's going to be, if something gets pushed through, it's going to be, I didn't vote for that. I didn't do that. It was the past. I don't want it to be the blame game. As far as seeing the stuff that's coming on Facebook, we talk about bullying. Don't take this the wrong way. Between what I have seen on both sides and knowing our kids can read this stuff, what message are we teaching them?
Bullying is okay, intimidation is okay, and it's allowed to be personal attacks. If the people are not doing their job, as the one lady said, then fire you. Okay? If you're doing your job, we need you guys to do your job. But it's time that we have to set straight, because I'm getting two different feedbacks, and as far as money, we don't have the district we used to have. We don't have the head count. The funding the state takes our taxes, and then we get paid so much per head. Even though our taxes are higher, we don't get all that money. It goes per head. So if we had 3,000 students in 2015, we would get close to $7,000 or $8,000 per student per head. Now that we're down to 2,300, we only get on that 2,300. So all your money that you pay in taxes does not stay at home. The state takes it, and then it divvies it, and that's how with the schools at risk, like Detroit and stuff, they do that equity money. And as far as money, they cannot take from the sinking fund to pay salaries. They can't take from the salaries to pay sinking funds. That's why we're in such a mess. My problem is I don't understand why the board waited so long to let us bleed so bad to get to something done. That's it.
Okay, the next one I have is Susan Evans.
Hi. This is a piggyback off of Mrs. Thunberg's comment about field trips. I would like to know, in the best interest of the students, she said that field trips are good. So I would like to know what we can do to lower the new rate that increased by $10 an hour for busing for field trips. It's outrageous. Also, you charge $1.50 a mile for these buses for maintenance when we pay the maintenance company. So it's an additional expense for field trips that's already covered by the $39.50 an hour. It's getting to be to the point where elementary kids, well, all kids, I can speak for the elementary, cannot afford field trips because $39.50 an hour, I don't know anybody that makes that amount anymore. Not unless they're sitting up somewhere way high. $39.50 an hour, you expect our babies to pay. And that's a lot of money. It's overly expensive. And I just wonder if those numbers were taken into consideration when you awarded this new contract to a new busing company. Thank you.
I don't have a last name on it. I have Angelique D.
Hi. My name is Angelica Blackman. I am a junior in Romulus High School. I have stated this many times before, but our teachers need contracts. They are leaving for better opportunities and better treatment. I still, to this day, do not have a math or English teacher. And I still have the SAT to take near the end of the year. The test that's supposed to, quote unquote, determine our future. If this test is supposed to be determining my future, then why am I not being prepared for it? Why did it take this being reported on the news for you guys to take notice? Why? We have been saying this like a broken record. All these parents that are here now are mostly here because the news reported it. Here, these parents are thinking these kids are getting a good education, but they are not. We have a right to education. So why are these guys impeding on our rights by giving us a lack of knowledge? I understand that not all of you are not putting in effort. I understand that there's only so much one person can do. You worry about merging the grades in the schools and encouraging things that are not even relevant to the bigger problem. Our teachers are not living. They have to almost live off of pennies. $30,000 to $40,000 a year is not enough. I know teachers that break their back, working a job of 4 people, having health issues due to stress, from not having enough funding for certain activities or from not being able to make enough. If the foundation is cracked, then the building will not stand. Our teachers are the foundation, and the students are the building. Speaking of the building, they are crumbling as well. There's an exit sign in one of the hallways that is hanging by a thread. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen. That is an injury waiting to happen. There are others too. Plugs with no covers and exposed wires, light fixtures broken with shards hanging by a thread, etc. I can go on. But to the next topic, the public is entitled to know about every single meeting. Yet our teachers had to publicly post on Facebook and other social media to inform the public. Why does it take News 4 to inform the public? I don't understand. There are false statements being said. Read and listen to the environment around you. Know your sin before you speak on it. The problem is getting out of control. They're underpaid and underrated. The truth for us is omitted, and we are misinformed.
The next person I have is Ms. Legion.
Hello. First of all, I hope you're taking a look at everybody that is here. You probably never expected so many parents to come out and say, we're tired, enough is enough, facilitate, help us get what we need for our kids. You had it, and I'm sure your children had it. What makes our children any different that they don't deserve the same education? The teachers don't deserve a better pay because they're dealing with more than what our teachers dealt with when we were in high school. There's no way. I have two there, 11th and 12th grade, still have substitute teachers, not certified, no planners, no lockers, and just got all 5 classes. That's unacceptable. You have a job to do. Somebody's not doing it. Somebody needs to be held accountable. If it takes to get rid of everybody, that's what we have to do. We're looking at a situation that Inkster was in. They are no longer existing. If that's what you want Romulus to do and you're not for us, you are against us. I think you need to look at what you are doing, figure out what your plan is, and if you don't have a plan, leave it on the table, let somebody else take care of it, because I am going to make sure my sons get the best education they can. If they're not going to get it here, there are other districts that are going to do it. And like the other mother said, you don't have to ask me why I'm taking them. It's going to be a 5-page letter to let you know from A to Z why I am pulling my children. I have been in the elementary, the middle school, preschool, never seen anything like this. 2 of mine have graduated. I'm looking like, will these have a chance? If they don't work hard enough, they're losing. If they teachers are not there and giving their all because the board says they got enough, that's all they need to have. We got to have teacher there. It's a person in there. You can't just have a body in the class. You have to have somebody that is educated and want to be there and help these children. If that's not what we're going to do, again, I ask you to look within yourself and say, this is not the job for me. There you go.
Let me leave it
alone.
The best. I have a grandson that's 3, and I'm worried now. Will I send him to Romulus? Yeah. Or will I say, let me send him to Kent? Let me send him to Belleville. Let me send him to Dearborn. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. There's an issue here. The numbers don't lie, but people do. And we're tired of the people lying.
All right.
Next person is Stephanie Gray.
We are school of choice. The original decision to send my children to Romulus was made of convenience. They were able to ride the bus from my grandmother's house, or from my mom's house to Barth. And the decision to stay was based on the community that we found here, and especially within Barth. That's where we went for 9 years. They learned about leadership, compassion, generosity, acceptance, to name a few. So many values that I worked hard to teach them that were reinforced. It was a blessing to find a place that upholds those morals and continues to encourage them. Back in June, we left Barth as my children moved on to higher education. Since the beginning of this new school year, I've been experiencing a growing feeling that some protective bubble has burst and exposed us to the raw reality of the education system. So far, I don't like what I see. And since I'm unable to take my children and retreat back to the safety of that elementary that cared so much, I have to stand up for them and for all the other children in the public school system and ask, what are you going to do? This is the beginning of our 10th year in the Romulus Community School District, and for the first time, I'm considering looking for another place for my children. I've spent the last 9 years donating, volunteering, chaperoning, and fundraising, contributing my time and money to give back to the school that has done so much for my family. I've been fiercely loyal and outspoken in my support of the district and the public school system, and yet my efforts barely put a dent in the burdens carried by my children's teachers. I see them struggling in overcrowded classrooms with a shortage of materials. I see them spending their own money to fill the gaps in the constantly shrinking budget. I see them working without the benefit of contracts or pay raises, staying out of sheer love for our children. This blatant disregard and disrespect is unacceptable. The men and women responsible for shaping the future of our country deserve better than this. The community deserves better than this. We've all based our high hopes on the bright promises made to us. It's time for Romulus to keep those promises.
Next person I have is Juanita Valentine.
That's not right here. Praise the Lord.
Well, you know what, now that you say that, excuse me, but I don't want to overstep. But
Just don't cut my time. Don't cut
no,
my time.
I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm asking, if we have students that are healthy and they're in chairs, can you please so kindly maybe let one of the elder adults have a seat?
But I fought you off for that.
Yeah, we
because
should
you
have
have a
that seat.
building full of people and you all are sitting down. So I fought you off for that. You all should have got up out of your seats. You should have called from the back of the room and told them to come in. I'm standing in the back of the room and I see elderly people standing back there. And it breaks my heart because, again, we're talking about this is a family community. So all of the people that's in the back, can you hear my voice? Because I have to talk loud enough so everybody can hear me.
Yeah, all right.
That's sad. We have all of this space. You all have now put the whole community in an uproar. Everybody is here because they're concerned. I'm a teacher. I teach outside of this district. You know why? You all don't pay me enough. You don't pay me enough. And then I get the notice from my 7th grader that you all are redesigning the school and you want to put my 3rd grader in a school building with 7th grade boys, and I'm trying to figure it all out. But we're your bosses, so guess what? You're fired. Right? I mean, if you want to be honest, that's what our president said, right? You're fired?
Yeah.
So we can just mimic him. My kids should not have overcrowded classroom. My son came home to the house the other day. He said, Mom, I was really worried about going into the middle school. He's been at Barth. He started at Hill Creek. He went over to Barth. He said, Mom, I don't want to do football this year because I really need to focus. He came home the other day and said, Mom, I can't learn in my 3rd grade class. They closed so many classes, the classroom is now overcrowded. One teacher to 30-some students. What's the problem? If I'm going to teach outside of the district and you all are not going to do what you're supposed to do, my kids need to be with their mom then. They need to be with me. No contract, no work, no teachers, no school for our children. We're done playing with school districts that constantly spend money recklessly. Everybody is saying the same thing. I see you all writing, but what is the action step for us? My son is a black African male boy. You know what they're setting up for him? Prison.
Thank you.
Prison.
Not just him.
Excuse my language, be damned, and my 7th grade son has to be sentenced to jail because the school district failed him. At what point in time do you all stop writing and start working? At what point in time do we come to a conclusion and say enough is enough? Everybody needs to be on the same page.
November 6th.
Divided against this stuff cannot stand. So what does that mean, Juanita Valentine? Oh, I'm so glad y'all asked. If administrators are not on the same page with teachers, if teachers are not on the same page with parents and students, guess what? The house is going to fall down. A house divided against itself will not stand and cannot stand. So at what point do we say enough is enough
and get on the same page. It does not make sense for me to stay here and live here if my kids are not receiving the services I thought they were receiving. I worked in the district. You know what my boss said? Valentine, do you honestly believe that you could teach in our district, but your kids can't go to school here? I said, well, this is Detroit. My kids are scared to come to Detroit. They feel safe. And the turnover rate there is crazy as well. It's crazy as well. You know what my son said the other day after we left that meeting on the 18th? That 9 times out of 10, a lot of people say parents don't get involved. It's not that we don't get involved. We're working, trying to make it for our children. We're trying to make it for our children. But the sad part, my son said, Mom, can they just put the kids where, since the elementary schools are full, can they put them in a bigger building, in the buildings where it's not a lot of kids? Can they just move to the small building so we can all still stay together to learn? My 7th grader said that. Y'all couldn't figure that out? Y'all couldn't figure that out. Y'all want to put 3rd grade. When you presented your report on the 18th, you know what you started with? You started with birth rates. I said, you want our kids pregnant. Because if you put my 3rd grader in a school with 7th grade boys, we got a problem. We got a huge problem. So stop writing. Put your pens down. It's nothing you need to write. What's the next step? What are we going to do, Mr. Thomas? What are we going to do?
We're actually going to be taking all this information.
No.
Yes, we are.
You're going to take it in, but what are you going to do with it?
We're going to be discussing it shortly.
Deadlines.
We need a time.
Deadlines.
We need something written down. Because this right here, you don't have to next week with my kids.
Thank you.
You don't have to next week. Miss Gold, I'm sorry. Maya won't be in class next week.
There you go.
Deadlines, because this right here is ridiculous. Mrs. McNally, Mr. Thomas, and everybody on this board, wake up to reality. We see it going on every day in our other communities. When are we going to say enough is enough and get on the same page? Just because you got hired into this spot or voted into this spot, guess what? We're your bosses, so
There you
guess
go.
what? Like Trump said, you're fired.
Weird thing again. There we go.
You know, I'm going to be very quick and brief because community, I've been here from McAnally was principal at Romulus L. And I said, I was happy that McAnally got the job. I have sat for years. I saw going south a long time ago. I hate to say I told you so. I sat with Ms. Funderburg. I've talked to McAnally multiple times. I actually like Ms. McAnally as a person. She's terrible as a superintendent. Yeah. I'm just being honest. I've communicated. I've been writing letters to parents for about 3-4 years now. Ever since I have been on this, I've sat down and they're doing the exact same thing they're doing now. I've been to the board office and this is what they do. They sit you down and they get a pad of paper and they take notes. And I strategically kept every email that I ever sent. And guess what, parents? It says exactly the same thing that everybody has said today.
Wow.
And I just shake my head. Ms. Funderburg, you're responsible too because I sat with you and I said, Ms. Funderburg is not working. Oh well, they goes one ear out
the other.
McAnally, I said you don't have the skill set for this job. Let me help you for free. Ignore. Ms. Piles, how can you expect us to support you when you don't even send your grandchild to the district? How can you have an expectation for us to support you in this when you don't even do it? So I guess I'm in a situation where
I'm sorry, I have to respond to that because I have a child in the district. I have another child and I have been very open and honest because there is mental illness, there is PTSD, there are things that we cannot service here for in the district, and I am a wife first, a parent second. So I put her where she needs to be, but I am not, that has heightened my sensitivity. That has put me in the building.
Right, they just service there, they can't service here.
No, I'm saying we need it. Her life is hanging in the balance. No, I'm not saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, listen. I am talking, yes, every life is hanging in the balance, and I am very open about that in the schools, that we are here to save lives, and I am in the schools, and I am pushing to fix those things, because I get it, but I get it even more so now. But I'll tell you what, we need social workers in the building, and if my daughter is not in one, we thought we were going to lose her last year, and that has made me push. I'm pushing harder here. I am in these buildings, and I am calling out
all the stuff, special ed, I'm calling it out, and it's gonna change, because I'm learning like I've never known before how important it is. Because yeah, there are lives, and we're accountable, not because it's our job, but because we're aware.
So I thank you, that was a great speech. That was good. That was very positive, but this is your employee. You have one employee board, and that's it. And this is what you support. This is what you have continuously allowed this mechanized contract to go on. So for someone to have this, to sit and smile, and just, and just sit and smile
Blow
at us
smoke.
as the community and blow smoke at us, as this message, as you allow your one employee to destroy,
Come on.
but you must be in alignment with this, because no one says anything. If Ms. Piles is the only one saying something, what are the rest of you doing? You're sitting and you're smiling, you're writing notes. So hopefully, like I said, I can publish every email I sent for the past 3 years.
Publish it.
Exactly the same thing that you're saying now. So I'm asking you now, how long is, I hate to say I told you
November
so, but you know
6th.
I'm telling the truth. Each and every one of you, especially McNally, you know I'm telling the truth. Yeah. So, as I say, what are you going to do? You're going to really at this point, the community, I say I'm done.
Deadline.
The community, when I tell you we have to vote. Oh, Ms. McNally making over a 6-figure. So she making more. So they make money. And guess what? Each and every one of them support her contract and the increases that have happened. So and let me tell you too, I've been there. I've asked for transparency. Ms. Horn has asked for transparency. When I've had to deal with her personally, and then personally as a parent, raising money and funds, this is exactly what they would do. I said, well, this doesn't make sense. They show me a piece of paper and scoop me on. And be like, and not be transparent with funds and fundraising money. So I know for a fact I haven't gotten transparency when I've asked. I'm just being honest, and I'm a fair and balanced person. So I say to you, community, I don't think she can do better, and I don't think they can do better, because they've had every opportunity. They have shown us who they are. Believe them. Believe them.
Will Miller?
Yes, sir.
You're the next one up.
Can y'all see me all right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can see you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
As the gentleman said, my name is Will Miller. I'm an Eastern resident. I'm blessed to be the current president of the National Action Network, Eastern and Western Wayne County. Lady that spoke passionately earlier, Crystal Linden, is our executive director. The word for me at this particular point is culpability. At this stage, when you got so many stakeholders in the community who have obviously are educated on the situation, for not a couple of y'all to get together in a non-quorum meeting to say, hey, y'all had 2 students in here who knew more than was as up and mobile as any of y'all. So you could have pulled that brother and sister into a room. Y'all got every union rep probably within 5 miles in here, sitting in here somewhere. You could bring them into a room. 2 of y'all, so you're not quorum, can come in here. Because I don't know, I done seen y'all sitting here, some of y'all sitting here empathetically writing notes. I done seen some of y'all with blank faces, worried, concerned, frustrated. But for all this to be going on with so much passion, so much, so much knowledge, so much understanding what's going on, and y'all to be at this stage. Now y'all got this garbage interview embarrassing the community like that on TV. And y'all, let's do it like this. At this point, there has got to be some outreach. I'll give out my phone number if I can be of help to try and bring y'all to a room that I can't believe y'all ain't been in by now. All these folks in here, after this, we should all be able to go do something. If y'all leave here right now, take notes and go home to y'all family and be like, whoa, man, y'all are derelict in y'all.
Exactly.
That's it. At this point, you can't leave, can't walk out, can't stop asking questions. Y'all need to walk out here, take names, numbers, give names, numbers out, go. And if y'all need some money for coffee, I got it. Some eggs, some bacon, I pay for it. Get some people to the room, get to work. Because ultimately, man, they gotta do something. People's lives are at stake, man. That's what I'm saying. Education, jobs, and y'all, just kind of roll with it, trying to get to the deadline. This is ridiculous, man. Y'all, just please, I'll beg you, please, get this together, man. Talk to some of these people, talk to me, talk to folks, let's get to work. Whatever we gotta do to get to work. If y'all got a ping, I'll give y'all my number 313-720-0186. I'll say it again.
That's on Facebook.
313-720-0186.
like she said earlier, it ain't just their fault. I know we at fault. We're gonna be out here from now on. We're gonna make sure we out here finding out what's going on with the budgets. I got folks that can make budgets, redesign budgets, grant right. There's people every day that can get this work done. Do the work. If you don't say I need help, something. They pull it.
Before we leave here, we lose all this energy.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
I'm serious.
George will help. Again, George will help. That man right there will help.
All right, the next one I have is Lisa Lephart? Lephart, sorry about that.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Come on with a number. Before November 6th.
What I will say is that
I'm
until
smiling, but I'm not
I
playing.
saw a post on Facebook, I had no idea what was going on in this community. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been here for almost 8 years.
Wave
When
your
I
hand,
moved
Ed.
to Michigan,
Wave
I
your
moved to Romulus.
You
I
can't
was
add the
told
deadline
this
before
was the
you
district
talk.
to be in.
That's it.
I rented a house for 4 years that I just purchased in Romulus.
right, now.
Because my son is a student at Barth Elementary. My son is in the ACE program and has been in the ACE program since he was in the 2nd grade. He's in the 6th grade. He told me, Mom, I don't want to go to middle school. I want to stay in the ACE program because I'm not ready to go to the middle school. I didn't understand why. We've had multiple conversations. And I did not understand why until I saw a Facebook post and I came to the meeting on the 18th. I was that parent who asked the question about the time bar. I was that parent who asked the question, what is the plan? You cannot implement anything without a plan. There was no deadlines given. We just want you to fill out a survey. Correct? That was your answer? Y'all right, I'm talking. I need y'all to pay attention. Engage in the conversation. I asked the question. I was told to fill out the survey. Survey was filled out. No one has contacted me. Where is the follow-up? I appreciate the fact that you can put your baby in a different district so that they can get what they need. Some parents can't. Some parents can't. And it's not fair that if I live in this community, I purchased a house in this community. My husband works in Port Huron. I don't have to be in this community. It was my choice. I have a child that graduated in 2016 in Romulus High School. She now lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She's 20 years old. I don't pay not one bill for her. My son is my everything. And I will be the parent that comes to your next meeting after I pull him out and stand in the same spot and tell you why he's gone. Because you guys are not listening. And that, whether you are or not, that is the appearance that your community has. That you are not listening. When you have parents and teachers and union workers, you have everybody here talking to you and you're still writing. You're not listening. You're not giving the appearance that you even care. I'm sure this meeting is being recorded in some way, shape, or fashion by somebody on this board. Y'all can go back and press play later on. Pay attention, engage. Let the community know that they matter. Because they're going to tell you that you don't come November.
Hello, everybody. I just had to come up and say this. I've been in this district quite some time. I have 5 children who graduated from a school here. Now I have 5 grandchildren. And now, sadly to say, I wanted all my grandkids and everybody to graduate. But my son and my daughter-in-law felt different.
Take them out.
You know, I said, well, we'll do what we can do or something. I just want them all to graduate. Well, they're not. They're in another school. And my thing is, I've really been praying because I've been in here over 40 years. I stopped college, right, Miss Bell? And I work in the lunchroom doing the same thing. A lot of people tried to say, oh, well, do you want to work somewhere else or something? I guess they thought that little job, you know, you maybe need to go somewhere else. I said, no. when I decided to volunteer in this school, you know what made me do it? When I walked in, I was first at McNair, then I went to Corey Elementary. And when I walked in that school, all over the walls, the rooms, the classroom was children first. I'm an advocate for the children.
Yes.
Because I see what's happening. That's why I stay in the lunchroom. Because they tell me lots of stuff.
Kids will tell you.
I have to tell them, whoa. I don't need to know. And what really broke my heart, we have a rule, NBC. That means no body contact. In other words, keep your hands off each other. That little boy looked up at me, you know what he said? That's not what that means. And I said, well, what do it mean? He said, nobody cares.
That's a problem. That's a
not
real
okay.
problem.
That's
Let me
disturbing.
finish.
Wow.
That broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because every year, I have been in this same position and job for probably, I just quit count, 40, maybe. Every year they said, you still here? Because so many, I said, you know why I'm here? Because I'm that one that care and they know it. And not only care, we're dealing with some deep issues with our children. And a lot of it has to do because some of them simply don't think you care. Because like mom, dads, it's not like it used to be. They have to work. And I'm quite sure so many of them want to be in my position. You know, I'm not knocking nobody. But this whole society has changed dramatically. And every time I'm with the kids and it look like the Lord always tell me, I will meet just about when school about to start back, I will see some of my children that I've been with. I was out walking, and I saw this girl just sprinting across the park, and she said, "Oh, Reverend Charlie," and she just hugged me because I hadn't seen her after she left high school. Because I do focus a lot on where I am. I'm middle school. Principal Sahaney, middle challenge. A lot of challenges. But one thing they knew too, see, we don't think that deep. They say she's been here all these years and we just a mess, and she's still here. You know what that spoke to them? Trust. Love. So many people have walked away from it. And they still in my heart. Because I see things, I don't gossip. Because I can say a lot of things and I'm not. But I do believe in prayer and the power of prayer.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And sometimes you just got to wait. And I understand your passion, don't get me wrong. That's why I stayed, because when I walked in that school that day, you have to realize there's a need. And when you see that need, you can't walk away from it.
That's right.
I could. All right. So to this day, this is where I am. And one thing we had too, Miss Janice Barton, we had the Title I. It was a contract that the student, teacher, and each one of us signed, the student. And those things worked. Because what it helped us do, we got a parent connect with the parent. So when they walk in that class, they didn't see, we were right there in the hallway, letting them know you can connect. And it was so wonderful. I could tell you so many stories. How when
Reverend Kelly, we're going to have you wind up your show.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, just keep in mind what that young man told me. NBC.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody cares. And he meant that from his heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Next one I have is Ursula Wester.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, I told them.
There's a
a seat up front, anybody wants to sit
Couple
down?
open seats up here, if somebody needs to sit.
I got two right here.
Couple of seats up front.
No, there's
Karen.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. We're hearing the same thing over and over again. Why are the teachers leaving? Why are the students leaving? Students are leaving because teachers are leaving. It starts at the top. Our school board is the boss of our superintendent. As a school board, you should ask more questions about what's going on. As parents, we should ask more questions. This community is upset. Upset. I've been in the community 25 years. All my children have graduated. I got 2 grandchildren in the district. I've been doing Romulus Flyers, Little League football, and cheerleading for over 18 years. Free. We don't get paid. I deal with 150 kids every year that I call my kids. And it hurts me. I worked for the district for a while. I moved on to a different district. But it starts at the top. As a candidate for your school board, it needs to be transparent. It will be transparent if elected. I plan on doing and having an in-depth investigation and going through central office to make sure that qualifications are where they're supposed to be. Just because you're somebody's friend, does not make you qualified to do that job. I have a lot of friends. Maximilian and I are friends. I don't know what your qualifications are on paper, but I know I'm an MBA. I can balance a checkbook with my eyes closed.
I know, that's right.
I've been doing it for the Flyers for over 15 years. Our children are at stake.
Yes,
They're our future.
that's right.
They're entitled to the best education afforded to them like anybody else in Belleville, Westland, Canton, West Bloomfield, Taylor. We all need to come together. And someone brought up our city council. If elected, I want to be that person that kind of bridges that together because we need a community. This is a community to take care of our kids. That's where it starts. We got to pray. And we got to get out and vote.
Vote.
There's 4 seats up, plus another one that's vacant. It's time for us parents, grandparents, to stand up and support our teachers.
Yes.
Next person is Tim Sherwood.
Is there any city council here at all? Is there any city council here tonight?
Tim Sherwood.
Good morning, school board, teachers, students, parents. You know, we're all very concerned about everything that's been going on. That's why we're here. We could actually have this board meeting at the high school auditorium and it would probably be packed. Some people can't even stay for all of this. My concern with this is accountability. All right? We don't have transparency in everything to the school board. It's a lot of things in communities that we don't have transparency with. And what we need to do as parents, we need to make sure that we're studying. We need to make sure that we're being involved. We need to make sure that we're reading. And we need to make sure that we hold everybody here accountable. You could go out and vote a whole new school board. Are you going to trust those people any more than you trust them? Maybe, maybe not. But it's all about accountability. Do you have time to be on the school board? Do you have time to answer all these questions? No. They're writing stuff down. Will they get to us on all of our questions? Probably not. This is a continued circle. And what's the definition of insanity? Same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. We're not getting anywhere. We're beating our heads against the wall. What we need to do is get together as a community, get ourselves together, exchange cell phone numbers with each other, and continue to pack this place, but we need to have accountability. They're not punching bags because, you know what, the more we hit, they're going to do the rope-a-dope, all right? They're going to cover up. They're going to say, yeah, we're listening. Take their notes, all right? But if you hire 2 or 3 more people up here, they're going to end up doing the same thing, all right? Because we don't have time to babysit them like they need to be babysat, some people, all right? We don't have time to watch them do their daily job. We don't have time to see them go into the high schools where things are falling from the ceiling. They hire people to do maintenance. Maintenance isn't getting done. They hire people to do buses. Buses not ran properly. The maintenance isn't ran properly. There's bus drivers that are probably getting paid more than teachers. All right? And these are people that just see your students for half an hour or an hour. And we're trusting these teachers, and they need to be paid. Bottom line. And where is your passion, school board? Where's your passion for the students? They're what really matters here. They're the ones that, when my son, who is in 10th grade, he comes to me and he says, I'm teaching myself in school. I'm teaching myself in school. That is unacceptable to me. Unacceptable. What's my son's high school transcript going to look like to U of M, to MSU, to Central, with all these hodgepodge trimesters, because he can't get enough of a science class, so he's got to take it the following year, and then it puts him behind the curve because there's not qualified teachers to teach. We can sit here and talk to you guys till we're blue in the face, but we need to come together as a community. If we need to contact Channel 2, if we need to contact Channel 4, if we need to contact Jeffrey Feiger, if we need to contact Mr. Any lawyers out there, we need to make sure that these people are working for us and not against us. But you know what? If we're going to hold these people accountable, we need to start looking at ourselves in the mirror and holding ourselves accountable. We just can't flee like it's a sinking ship, like a bunch of rats, because we've already seen somebody fly and flee from here already, haven't we? Because what happens when a ship is sinking? Cowards leave. Brave people stay. So we want people in this school board that want to stay and fight for this community and our kids. Did you guys, any of you guys, did you raise your hand and take any kind of oath of office when you started with this? What was that oath? Did it have something to say about protect our students? When you protect our students and educate our students, the first step is to take care of the teachers. Making sure that the teachers are taken care of so that my son and all these people in here can get taken care of. Bottom line, we need to hold you guys accountable. We need to hold all of ourselves accountable. We need to not point fingers at everybody, because if I'm pointing one finger at somebody, there's 4 pointing back at me. All right? So some of you guys, this is your first time coming here. Some of you guys, you've been here for 10, 15 years and you don't even have students, but you're supporting. That's what we need to do. We need to come together as a community and support. We should not walk out that door without getting a piece of paper up there at that desk and everybody write their name, phone number, and email, and we need to rally together and we need to do something for this community and for our kids. Because I don't want to leave, but if I have to, it's for my son. It's not because I want to leave, it's because we're being forced to leave. So we want to just make sure that not only are we being heard, but there's something being done. Come to us in another couple of weeks and say, we heard every single person. This is what we want to do. This is what we are doing. This is our plans to get teachers in. This is our plan to keep the teachers that we have. And giving them a couple of dollars is not going to matter. Janitors should not be making more than teachers. Because they don't work. These teachers are here above and beyond, and they put in and they love these kids. You're gonna get teachers in here that don't love these kids. You're gonna get teachers in here that are just starting out, and you know what? What they're gonna end up doing is they're gonna end up putting our kids' lives in jeopardy because we can't trust teachers that don't love our kids and don't know our kids. So let's keep these teachers here and let's all work together. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Andrew Carter. I'm the president of the Eastern Housing Commission Resident Council. Are you aware of the information that's going out from schools to parents? Okay. Let me bring some to your attention.
Some of the information we do know, depends what you're talking about.
Okay. About the story you've probably seen about the roaches in Eastern Housing. Okay. All right. Just so you know, everyone in Eastern Housing do not have roaches. Because you send this out, these children are being bullied. Before I came here, I had to break up a fight between them. Absolutely. So, if this information going out and you don't know about it, you have more problems to worry about than roaches. I didn't know that until I got here. That's crazy. That shouldn't be. Do not take our story and use it against our children, because they have real problems. Now they can't bring their book bags to school because of fear that they may be bringing roaches. All the crap going on in this community. You got teachers leaving in exodus motion. You have students leaving in an exodus motion. Parents, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't see this coming. My daughter, stand up, Jenny. I pulled her out of Romulus School District 2 years ago because of this. Now, I want to apologize to you because once I took her out of Romulus, I didn't look back. Not thinking that the same children I serve every day goes to Romulus. Now I have to go and apologize to them. And what are you people doing? You have to do better. I don't want to see anything go home to these students about this. Now you apologize. You make her apologize for sending stuff out like this. Yes, I was the one talking. I was the one on the news. That's crazy. So fix the real issues. We don't have to worry about the roaches. We have to leave them with the teachers.
The next one I have is Andrew Stewart.
That's me.
Okay.
I'm Andrew Stewart. I'm a science teacher at high school. I've been here 18 years. I job with my students. I really appreciate everyone that's come and said great things. I'm a numbers person though, and I like to understand the numbers. So being here 18 years, I've been here when we were in a deficit. I've been here when we've had to borrow money from the state to stay afloat. I've been here when teachers have taken pay cuts to make payroll. As far as I understand it, we have an excessive fund balance. Are we in deficit spending? No. Our last contract, the district wanted, I'm sorry, let me take that back. The state says we should have a 5% fund balance. We don't trust the numbers that come out of INSEE. So every year, by state law, every school gets a third-party audit. It's coming in November, by November 1st, I believe. The audit has to be here. Last November, we had nearly a 9% fund balance. 9. 10.9. Okay, the predicted was 8.9. It was more than that. My kid's school district, they have fallen slightly below a 5% fund balance. And they sent to all the parents some thoughts, some ideas on how to tighten the belts and get back to 5%. We're double that. We're talking about redistricting. I remember talking about redistricting in the past as well, when we were in deficit spending. I feel like we're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
We are creating the death spiral
Yeah.
that takes the students away, that takes the funding away. So we do all this hypothetical talk about there is no money. Channel 4 News was told there is no money. So in November, if anything exceeding 10% comes out, we should be very ashamed. We should be very angry.
Yes, absolutely.
There's money.
Yes.
So it's true, there's money because repairs have been avoided. There is money because teachers have taken cuts. There is money because our custodians don't make enough money. There's money because Bill Garland, an amazing guy, has to do more with less every year. He's our head of the custodians. So again, we're not in deficit. We're not in a deficit.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
We just need to see the checks and balances. That's what we need to see. That's what we want to see. The
Thank
checks
you.
and
Well
balances.
said, Mr. Stewart. Well said.
Okay, the next item we have is, hold on. We got one last one here. Mr. Martel, Ed Martel.
What's the next going on up in there?
Excuse me, right here, attention, please. I'll be real brief because I've heard everything and I've seen everything and that I have to see to know that incompetent leadership has decimated our school district. And for the last 2 years, I've been one of the ones to come in here and sit down, and I've watched the board sit silent as that leadership just led them this way or that way, and they sat silent. And that's not right. Our kids' lives are at stake. I'm a parent of children that attend this school district, and I speak to you as a parent. With that being stated, we have 3 demands here today. I'm here on behalf of frustrated parents, I'm here on behalf of our frustrated teachers, and I'm here on behalf of our children. We have 3 demands. Our first demand is that our teachers' contracts be restored.
Yeah.
Restored by October 15th.
That's right.
Restored by October 15th.
Yes.
Our second demand is, like our former school board member, that our current superintendent respectfully resign. And we demand that now. Now. And our last demand is that you postpone this immediacy of the closing and liquidation of our buildings.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I'm not only a parent, I'm also a member of the Western Wayne County National Action Network, and we don't just speak, we go to action.
Come on now.
So please understand that these are unified demands of what our community needs in the best interest of our parents. And I thank you all for my
Give them
time.
the deadline for the contract.
October 15th.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, the next item of business right now we have is we need to go into closed session for negotiations.
There's clipboard going around. Please put your contact information
I need a
in.
motion for that, please.
Yeah.
Make sure it gets you out. And there's one in the back too. So make sure you
I'm a child, so I can't.
Folks, we still gotta conduct business here, please. Go ahead. Folks, please, we still gotta conduct meetings, okay, please. Try to be cordial to everyone too. Okay, I got a motion by Ms. Funderburg for the closed session for negotiations and possible actions. Need a second? I got a support by Ms. Piles, can I get a roll call, please? The agenda was already approved earlier. We got to go with what, right now we're holding on to closed session. You understand? We are going to, never mind, we're going to superintendent's.
They're waiting for Kathy. Kathy.
There might be some action, we're not sure, there might be, but if you want to stay, you can, but we're gonna give a couple minutes and we're gonna convene in the superintendent's office, and we'll come back up.
Mr. Goodrich, is there, if there is action, is there a way that we can find out without being here? Thank you. Thank you.